What's up, everybody? Just going to give everybody just a few minutes to get in on this thing, and we're going to get started on season 2 here. Excited to be with you on the Equip and Encourage podcast, and yeah, here they go. So let's give everybody just a couple of minutes to jump in here on the live feed, and then we will get in today's content. Who's out there? Who we got? Just gonna give everybody just a few minutes to get in on this thing, and we're gonna get started on season 2 here. Making sure all my stuff's good to go. What's up? Where are you guys at? I am relearning all of this today. It feels like it's been forever. There we go. What's up, Sarah? Michelle, how's it going, guys? Zap. All right. Well, hey, welcome to season 2 of the Equip and Encourage podcast. I'm super excited about jumping into the content today and just connecting with you guys this fall. Man, summer has been amazing. Just had a very restful summer. I don't remember a summer that's been as restful as this one was. Just incredible time. We went on a family RV vacation, which was incredible. I'm sure I'll be talking a little bit about that this season. Also, I took up hiking a little bit over the summer. I think I mentioned that at the end of season 1. And I went in on what I called Office in the Wild on Wednesdays and just kind of documented that. If you want to go back into my Instagram, I'll maybe be posting a blog post with this a little later. But in Instagram, I kind of journaled my journeys through the wilderness, through the wilderness here in the Metroplex, and just kind of got out in the outdoors just to refresh myself. And so that was really fun. So maybe be talking about that a little bit this season. And, again, you can go back into Instagram and catch in on all of that stuff. So, hey, without any further ado, let's jump into this week's equipping session. So I am reading this book called The Furious Love of God by Brennan Manning. Heard about this through Damon Thompson. He mentioned that it was one of the most impactful books he's ever read, so I decided to order it on Amazon. And man, after I read the first chapter, I just wanted to dig into the book, but it's so heavy and just so rich about the love of God. I would encourage anybody to read it. It's very devotional. Chapters are very short. You can read a chapter in probably 5 to 8 minutes. Got some questions of reflection there. Just powerful, very moving. During my quiet times, I've been reading that, and it's just been amazing. Again, it's The Furious Love of God by Brennan Manning. So check that out. Hey, let's jump into this week's encouragement to you guys. I was thinking this morning, been kind of thinking about this season, what we wanted to talk about, and I was thinking this morning about the how. As someone who studies leadership, I'm always reading about the why. Why are we doing the things that we're doing? What's our motivation? What's the purpose behind what we're doing? And I think that's critical. It's so critical that we know why we're doing what we're doing. But sometimes I think we need to make sure and take a step back and look at the how. And by the how, I'm not talking about our skill set. I'm not talking about, the hard work that we're putting in, the diligence we're putting forth, but the manner that we're bringing to the table. How are we acting when we're doing what we're doing? The how I'm doing it. How am I doing what I'm doing? Again, not setting skill set aside. That's critical. Not talking about diligence today. Those things are important. We must apply ourselves. We must sharpen our skills. We must develop our skills. We must do everything that we've done skillfully. But what is the posture of our heart whenever we're doing the things that we're doing, whether it's, at play, whether it's at work, whether it's at study. What is the manner? What is the posture of my heart, the mode of my life when I'm doing the things that are in my hand? I love work ethic, man. I'm a hustler. I'm a hard worker, but sometimes I've noticed in my life that I can be working really hard with a really rotten attitude. And I'm afraid many times we can succeed at the task but fail at the test of our character. Again, I'm afraid that many times we succeed at the task at hand but fail in the test of our character. And, many times we're seeking promotion, we're seeking success, we're seeking to be accomplished. All those things are great goals. We need to have those, but don't forget your character. I was, always taught it doesn't really matter. I don't know that I was really so much taught this as much as I felt that maybe culture was communicating this to me, that, it doesn't really matter. Your attitude doesn't matter that much. What matters is that you get the job done. And I think that might be good if you're doing something for money, but at the end of it, you're going to be really wore out if you are just doing it for money, if you're just a hireling. There's some things that you will do that you couldn't pay you enough to do it. And, there's got to be something that's motivating you deeper than the reward of money, than the reward of a promotion. What is the motivation? What is the drive inside of you? And I think many times, if we're misguided by the way that we're motivated, then sometimes we'll do things with kind of a rotten heart. And I want to make sure, and I want to live my life when I'm doing the things that are in my hand, that I'm doing them properly, that I'm not just doing them right in the sense of my skill, what I'm doing with my hands, but am I doing it properly with my heart? What is the posture of my heart when I'm doing the things that I'm doing? Do I value people? Do I run over people whenever I'm completing my task, whenever I'm doing my job? As you can hear, the weather is going crazy here. Are we mean about the way that we do our work? Are we harsh, or did we find joy in it? Did we do it joyfully? Were we helpful, or were we hurtful? Was I honoring others along the way, or was I simply self-seeking, trying to get the job done? So it's not always the what we do, but many times it's how we do it. Jesus talks about this with the religious people. The religious people were doing a lot of right things. They were doing a lot of good stuff, especially in their own eyes. But Jesus made this remark in Matthew chapter 15, verse 8. He says, "These people honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me." And he is talking, quoting something from the book of Isaiah there. And many times, I think that we have lip service, or sometimes we even have hand service, if you will, or skill service, but we don't really have heart service, and our heart is disconnected from the task at hand. And I think sometimes, without even realizing it, we can be giving all of our energy, but not really all of our heart. And I think it is evident to those around us. They can sense the disconnect. And so many times we think, well, if I get promoted, then my heart will be there. But beloved, I believe that you need to put your heart there first. Make sure the position of your heart is correct first, and then God will be the one that will promote you. Again, it's not just about getting the job done. It's not just about finishing the race. It's your pace. What does your pace look like? And really, at the end of the day, what we're talking about is our attitude. Again, the posture of our heart. So doing the job right is not just about the skill applied, but the heart involved. So just three little takeaways from you for you today is, number one, aim to honor God. Aim to honor God. I don't know about you, but I miss this most days. Most days I'll do something on the outset, I'm aiming to do it right, but in the process, I fail to honor God. Maybe I do that with my attitude or a word that I say, but usually it is a posture of my heart that I'm not maintaining while I'm completing the task. So we can please man all day long with our work ethic, but heart heart ethic is what pleases God. And so we want to make sure that we're always aiming to honor the Lord in everything that we do as followers of Christ. Colossians chapter 3, verse 23. I love this verse so much. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart. Now, we know that if we're doing it with all of our heart, that our actions will follow. Again, we're talking about not just doing it with our actions, but doing it with our heart. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord, not for human masters, since you know that you'll receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward. It's the Lord Jesus Christ whom you are serving. So remember, you're serving Jesus, whatever it is. Maybe you're flipping hamburgers at McDonald's. Maybe you're pastoring a church or leading a ministry. Whatever it is, you are aiming to honor the Lord. And this is where we talk about, many times about worship is more than singing songs. Worship is a lifestyle. Well, this is the lifestyle we're talking about, that we maintain a correct posture and position of heart, that we're honoring the Lord in everything that we're doing. Number 2, sustain humility. This is a hard one. It's especially hard to preach or hard to encourage somebody else in. But, many times we're seeking to be seen when what we should be seeking is to be humble. I think about the difference between submission and honor. You could submit to somebody, an employer, a boss, a leader. You could submit to somebody with the wrong heart, and that would be arrogant. And even if someone sees you as being humble, if you're humble or not. And so the difference between submission and honor is honor has humility of heart, and submission has a underlining tones of ambition, like you're trying to get something out of it. So make sure that you're seeking to be humble and not to be seen. So sustain that humility. Scripture tells us several times that God will exalt the humble. So my job is to sustain humility, remain humble, and it's God's job to promote me. It's not my job to promote myself. It's God's job to do that. And I'm not talking about fake humility. Someone comes and rewards you and they're like, hey, you did good. Oh man, it's just the Lord. Bless the Lord. Because sometimes we're just being prideful in saying those things. So it is important to say the right thing, but what's more important is our heart is just really in that position of humility that says, you know what? Really, it's not about me. I'm just trying to honor the Lord in what I'm doing. And you can accept praise. And let me just say this, you can accept praise with a humble heart. And you know how it is, man, whenever someone's come up to you and they've encouraged you because you've succeeded and you've done well, and then you just get before the Lord and you're like, God, I'm just so grateful that you've allowed me to do that. And that's really what we're talking about when we're talking about humility. Humility is not necessarily speaking down of yourself, but it's really putting yourself last. So aim to honor God. Number 1, number 2, sustain humility. And number 3, slow down. Slow down. This is one of the things that I'm learning. I'm a bit of a hustle guy, and just try to get everything done and be on top of stuff. I kind of pride myself in that, which can be the opposite of humility, which is pride is. So if what I've found is if I can just slow down, if I can just take a step back, that not only is it easy to position my heart that way, I also notice that I'm not as frustrated. I'm not as intense, that if I can just slow down and remember, hey, there are people in front of me. There's things that can be done along the way. I don't have to get everything done today. And I can be a lot more effective at the heart level if I'm just gradually doing things. Some of you need to speed up, but most of us, I feel like, especially in this day and age, we really need to be people that are just kind of slowing down, at least slowing down our thinking and just kind of adjusting ourselves to say, you know what, let me just think about for a moment, what is the most important thing to do here? Is it important that I get done by 5 today, or is it important that I have this conversation? So I feel most frustrated when I feel the most rushed. So the people in front of me are not obstacles. They're actually opportunities. And so just remember that. And sometimes, man, if we don't slow down, we'll think that every person that's in front of us as an obstacle. No. Every person in front of me is an opportunity. And so it's critical. It's important that we just slow down, take a step back, and just kind of evaluate things if it's just for a moment and say, you know what, this person is important. You know what? This job is important, but I want to enjoy myself while I'm doing it. It's so important. I believe you'll find greater joy in your life. Again, we're talking about attitude, the posture of heart. How do you reposition your heart? Number one, aim to please God. Number two, sustain humility. Go after it. Chase humility. And number three, slow down. Anyway, that's all I got for you this week. If this podcast, if this video is a blessing to you, then I'm just going to ask you to go into the iTunes store and leave me not just a rating, but a review. That helps me out. It also helps me to know that I'm being effective, and helps me know to keep doing this, and leave comments, all that good stuff. So thank you guys for tuning in today. I'm looking forward to the next couple of months here. Peace.